Unfortunately, some member states in the Security Council and the mainstream media continue to defend and support the genetically modified armed Syrian opposition, moderate by definition, while turning a blind eye to the crimes committed by them, such as burning the evacuation buses yesterday. I guess you are aware of this. Continue to defend and support the genetically modified armed Syrian opposition.
Mr. Ambassador, you named off a whole list of individuals who you claim are
nice people, yeah,
are intelligence agents from
no, they are Syrian moderate opposition.
Right. Can
genetically modified.
Are they still in eastern Aleppo?
Yes. No, they are Syrian moderate opposition.
Right. Can
genetically modified.
Are they?
Sometimes called chimeras, but there's actually a broader group of this. And again, the method is to think about a large number of cases. It's helpful to think about very different cases. So to use some real cases, imagine you mixed human brain cells, so human brain stem cells in the embryonic stage, into a mouse to create a mouse with a humanized brain. Now, it wouldn't be a human brain. It does exactly the same. It's much smaller, for example, but has humanized elements. Another example is imagine you took a gorilla, treated the gorilla exactly as it is, but were able to generate a human-looking face. Right? So a gorilla with a human face. How would we think about that entity? Third example, humanized immune system. Took a mouse, and we do this, we have these at Harvard, for example, and created an immune system in order to test drugs, think about HIV, for example, that was humanized. So not the brain, but just the immune system was very human-like.
Aging is a very obscure and not well understood process. What is aging, we really don't know. We know the consequences of aging, but what are the causes of aging? And many of us believe that aging is not a plastic process. It's not something that we can manipulate. These observations indicate the opposite. When we convert a skin cell, for instance, into a stem cell, what we are doing is rejuvenating that cell. A skin cell was before a stem cell, and that's a process that we call cellular reprogramming, rejuvenating a cell back to its pristine state. This is a process we are right now working on in the lab to try to see if this is possible, not just in the Petri dish.
That's okay, Doctor. We'll adjust. Why don't you get me up to speed?
Yes, please. The creation of synthetic DNA was the relatively simple half of the equation. The second half is where it gets a little more tricky. Like a magician, we tricked the neural network into accepting our nano into its ranks, to a light in its midst. Then during the incubation period, the nano begins to introduce its own language, its own commands. The growth rate of the organism gradually accelerates as it reacts to and reproduces the new stimuli.
Yes, I have read the material, Doctor.
Yes, of course. Well, as you know,
You're going to have to be open-minded and adaptive to be able to deal with the complexity of the world that involves so many different dynamic elements that it's hard to describe in sentences. If the world of 1916 was complex, or the world of 1945 was complex, the world of 2016 is intensely complex. And I can tell you that from personal experience, and I know there's many others who can tell you that as well. And you will graduate and be in that world, and you're going to be leading the soldiers and the sailors, the airmen and the Marines in that world. You'll be dealing with terrorists. You'll be dealing with hybrid armies. You'll be dealing with little green men. You're going to be dealing with tribes. You'll be dealing with national leaders and local leaders. You'll be dealing with politics and economics. And you'll be dealing with direct fire and indirect fire. And you're going to be dealing with it all. And it's all going to be dealt with simultaneously. And for that, you're going to have to be ready. And that's why readiness, in my mind, is number one. You'll be dealing with terrorists. You'll be dealing with hybrid armies. You'll be dealing with little green men. You're going to be dealing with tribes. You'll be dealing with national leaders and local leaders. You'll be dealing with politics and economics. And you'll be dealing with direct fire and indirect fire. And you're going to be dealing with it all. And it's all going to be dealt with simultaneously. And for that, you're going to have to be ready. And that's why readiness, in my mind, is number one.